This is part 1 of 3 videos in which we cover a sandy soil, a silty soil, and a clay soil, and tell you what recommendations we have to improve the drainage of your soil. So our recommendations for improving drainage in clay soil include adding organic matter. Organic matter such as compost, well-rotted manure, or leaf mold breaks up dense clay particles, creating air pockets and improving water movement. It also boosts fertility because it gives a place for microorganisms to thrive. We recommend to spread a 2 to 3 inch layer of compost over the soil and till or broad fork into the top 8 to 12 inches. Regularly adding organic matter over time will further enhance the soil structure. And that's one thing about amending soil types like this is it's doubtful you're going to be able to get it all in one shot. This is something to build up over time and to do that free at-home test and see how you're doing as the years progress. The next amendment we recommend for clay soil is to add a little bit of sand. Coarse sand improves drainage by creating channels that water can flow through more easily. This reduces the risk of waterlogging that's typically found in clay soils. We recommend that you combine sand with the organic matter that we just talked about at a ratio of about 1 part sand to 2 parts organic matter. And simply broad fork or till in, whichever way you want to do it. And stay away from fine sand, like things that you would use in mortar or things like that. You want to get like a play sand that has a little bit more surface area, a little bit more jagged, and it's going to help reduce the compaction because it's not as fine and it's not going to settle in as much. Next up on the list, gypsum, or calcium sulfate. It chemically alters the structure of the clay, binding small particles into larger aggregates. This improved aggregation creates better air movement and water flow. Again, air movement, water flow, we're trying to open up those clay soils so we're not giving roots a place to be compacted in. As you're adding your compost and your sand, spread 2 to 3 pounds of gypsum per 100 square feet of soil and then work it into the top layer. And it's going to work gradually, so you may see changes over the next several seasons. Another thing you can do is add a cover crop like vetch or clover or any type of green material that's going to help develop some roots, break up some of that topsoil, and add all that organic matter back into the ground. Just plant the cover crops in the off season and then till them under into the spring to add organic matter. This is a great thing to do right after a nice silage tarp operation. Maybe grow out that cover crop, silage again, terminate it again, easy peasy. Another amendment you can add is perlite or expanded shale. These lightweight porous materials improve soil drainage by increasing permeability and preventing compaction. They're especially useful in raised beds or container gardening with heavy clay mixes. And just like any amendment, you can add it in all at one time or in and out throughout the different seasons as you're broad forking or tilling in your soil. And just 3 little quick tips for success. As you're working in the amendments, try to do that when the soil is a little bit more dry. Don't do this after a rain. Don't water the clay before you add these amendments. That really sticks it up and it clumps that clay up together. So as you're doing the work of adding these amendments, they're not evenly getting distributed in the mix. Second thing we already covered, don't get impatient. This is something, especially in clay soil, that you're going to work in over time. There's no way you can fix this all in one shot. So doing a little bit before every season not only helps you keep within budget, but it slowly adds to this mix over time and changing that clay soil to a nice sandy loam over time. And the last thing, as part of this little soil compaction and testing series, we did talk about how to collect the soil samples to send off to the analysis. If your pH reading has come back, adding the gypsum may affect the outcome of the pH. So testing the soil and going with the lab's recommendation for the amount of or the reduction of gypsum may help with those pH levels. So that's it for this one. If you love this video, if it helps any, let us know in the comments below. Subscribe while you're down there, and we'll see you in the next video.